Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Special welcome if you are new here. My name is Jody and today we are doing more than just a day. We're doing like a couple days, a few days in my life. The last video was supposed to be like a few days in my life and I didn't really set it up quite as well that way, but this one is truly going to be several days in my life. I'm just going to be sprinkling around content in final Christmas preparation, things that I am doing before Christmas actually gets here. Some things that I like to do, some things that I need to do, and hopefully this will just help put you in the mood. One of these things, the first thing on my list to do is to make a cranberry orange pound cake. I've talked about this in a few of my videos because I actually was going to try to do it in one of the previous ones and I ran out of time. But we are going to be doing this recipe. I have out of this cookbook my mom made for me. I don't know that it's her recipe. It might be. She might have just gotten it out of a magazine as well and copied it down. She tried to put a whole bunch of recipes in this cookbook that I enjoy and everything like that, but let me show it to you so you can screenshot it if you're interested. All right, so first thing what we're going to do is I've already taken off my rings because I do not like to bake or cook too much with my rings on. But I'm going to start, I'm going to start the oven. So I'm going to preheat that to 350. And then we're going to cream some butter and sugar. I was debating, I really don't want to get out my stand mixer because I don't feel like it. But then my little handheld mixer, she's on the fritz too. So there's some speeds or some settings that she just doesn't want to kick on for. But let's see, what should I do? My butter is pretty soft. Let's just do the hand mixer, okay? We're gonna do the handheld. All right, I got my favorite glass bowl, one I had gotten from Goodwill, and I would love to find another one just like it or a few bigger ones, but I haven't been able to find that kind of thing. I'm not really much of a Goodwill shopper or a thrifter. I'm not good at that. I don't have the patience for that. Would I like to be better? Yes. Am I going to try in the future? Yes, but as of right now, I haven't had much success. All right, 1.5 sticks of butter. I've had this butter sitting out since last night, so like I said, she's nice and soft. Should cream pretty easily. Calls for a fair amount of sugar, 2 3/4 cups. You know, people say that baking is one of those things that you have to be very precise. Cooking is more lenient, more forgiving. Baking is very precise. I don't always find that to be the case. I feel like baking can be very forgiving too. There are some things that are not. All right, let's cream this. I'm already regretting my life decisions here. I really should have put this in my KitchenAid, and I might still at this point because she's just not coming together super well. This thing just doesn't have the horsepower. All right, I give up. KitchenAid, here we come. All right, now we're getting down to business here. It's finally creaming up a little bit better. Time to add the eggs. It says to add the eggs one at a time. I'm not going to do that because I'm not. I'll add at least a couple at a time. But I do crack them in something separate just in case you'd have a bad egg in there, you know. It only takes one bad egg to ruin a whole recipe. That's a lot of butter there. That's kind of expensive. Okay, I prefer to put my eggs in 2 at a time. I feel like it mixes just as well. I haven't had any issues and it just saves me a little bit of time rather than mixing them individually. I don't know who came up with that, but that's just a real time waste in my opinion. Not gonna lie, sometimes just having this KitchenAid mixer, it's a huge help, but sometimes just the size of it intimidates me at the task. Like, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a really involved task if I have to get the KitchenAid mixer out. So that's why I think I was just mentally trying to go with the handheld mixer. I'm like, oh, it's just one quick cake, you know, something simple. But no, I had to pull out the big mama jamma. All right, next I'm going to add an instant vanilla here. My mom tends to put this in a lot of her baking things just to kind of keep them more soft, which is kind of making me question if this is one of her original recipes. Like, she puts this in almost all of her cookie recipes, a instant vanilla pudding or an instant pudding of some sort. All right, I've washed my oranges. It calls for 2.5 teaspoons of grated orange peel. And so just do that. All right, I didn't have my camera on, but I mixed in the orange peel and the vanilla pudding. It smells so fragrant, just reminds me of Christmas. So Now we need to add the flour. Put in 3 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt. Taking that same half a teaspoon and I'm getting some baking powder, so it's going to be altogether 1 teaspoon baking powder. Give that a good old mix. I think maybe, was I supposed to, oh wait. Okay, it said I was supposed to alternate the flour and the sour cream, 1 cup of sour cream. This is how I'm alternating, guys. I'm just dumping it in at the same time. Now I realize I don't think my mom made this recipe because she would not write that kind of instruction out. I think I'm regretting my life choices again. I think I should have just left the KitchenAid out. All right, 1 solid arm workout later and another utensil dirtied. I think I finally have this mixed up pretty good. Raw batter never looks so good. All right, I've chopped up, I don't know, it says about 1.5 cups. I'm not sure if that's, now I'm second guessing that, whether that's 1.5 cups of cranberries. I guess we'll stir it in and see if it looks like I need to cut some more or not. I'm kind of feeling like I need to. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much in there. All right, back to the cutting board. All right, now even though this is a pound cake, I'm putting it in a bundt pan. And so I guess I'm just going to kind of spoon this in. She is pretty thick. By the way, this bundt pan is greased and floured. All right, now this is going in the oven for about 60 to 70 minutes, and I will clean up after that. There we go. Oh, such a sweetie pie. I pick you up later, okay? I pick you up later.
According to Matthew 18 through 25, now the birth of Jesus Christ was as follows. After his mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with child of the Holy Spirit. And Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not wanting to make her a public example, was minded to put her away secretly. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for that which is conceived of her is of the Holy Spirit, and she will bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. So all this was done that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, Behold, the virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is translated God with us. Then Joseph, being aroused from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord commanded him, and he took to him his wife, and did not know her until she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus.
All right, so I just took out the cake here just a little bit ago. I'm trying to make a vanilla butter glaze. I have like a 1/2 cup of butter, what is it, a cup of sugar, and a tablespoon of flour. There's something else in here. Well, there's going to be some vanilla. Just a little, woohoo, oh boy, I got a lot of vanilla in there. Oops, I was trying to stir that with my right hand, so I wouldn't have my left hand in the way, but I need my left. Oh, there's cream in here. That's what else is in here. Cream. There is 1/2 cup of cream. All right, I'm going to let the cake cool a little bit more and let this cool down, and then I'll show you the final topping of it. All right, this is what the bundt cake looks like now that it's finished. Bundt cake, pound cake. It's a pound cake in a bundt pan. I know it looks a little bit dark. It did take a while for it to finish up in the oven. It took, like I said, it was about 60 to 70 minutes that was supposed to take to bake, and I would say it probably took closer to 80 minutes. So now it's not quite all the way cool. I debated about waiting till tomorrow to cut into it for you, but I think I'm going to cut into it today. So let's do that. It honestly tastes just like I remember. Tender, and the cranberries throughout just give it a little extra punch, and the orange is very subtle. Very nostalgic for me. All right, the next thing I need to do is I need to finish our Christmas cards. I have a stack over there that goes to the people from church and a few that I've already addressed, but these are the ones that left yet that I need to address. So I'm going to be doing that. I have a compilation of addresses from our wedding that I've just kept on hand. It's turned out really handy for Christmas cards specifically. So I am going to be working on this for a while. I don't know if I'll finish it up tonight or maybe drag it on till tomorrow, but I do want to get it done in the next couple days because I want to get these mailed out.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see.
All right, I am heading to a city that's a ways away. I don't know the miles off the top of my head, but I want to say a good 45 minutes away from where we live. And so just need to do a little bit extra Christmas shopping. I went with my mom earlier, about a month ago, and got a good portion of things. And I did get a few things online, but there's one thing in particular that I meant to get that day when I was with mom, and I forgot to go back to the store. So I'm kind of kicking myself. And there's something I need to return to Ulta. So I just said, you know what, I need to make a trip up here. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little Christmas shopping, a few returns. I also kind of am Christmas tree shopping, and not really with any plans to buy. I've not loved our Christmas tree for a long time. It's kind of like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree because it's so old. It was my husband's tree. I'm not sure how long he's had it. And when he decorates the tree, he really decorates the tree. So it's kind of like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree combined with like the National Lampoon overly bright Christmas type thing. If you can imagine those vibes together, that's kind of what our tree looks like. And I have my mind on one tree in particular that I would really love. Do I need it? No. But I would really love it. Would I be more inspired to decorate the tree myself? I'm not sure. Probably not. So I'm going to check out Home Depot just to see if they happen to have it. And we'll see. It's called, what is it called? Something like the Grand Duchess. Have any of you guys heard of that? Like I said, I hear it's viral. They actually have a very slim selection, so I'm not seeing the tree I want. Bummer. Alright, so Home Depot was a bust and Kohl's was kind of a bust. I needed to look for a dress for my mom that she had picked out earlier when we were together and use the restroom. I was able to use the restroom, which is good, but the dress I could not find. I'm not surprised though, because the dress that we had seen our mom had picked out was kind of like a fall type of dress, and there was only one left. It was at a different Kohl's, but I was hoping that maybe they'd still have some in stock. Oh well. Okay, I think next we're going to go to, let's see. I think next we're going to go to Target and Ulta. They're kind of close to each other, so we'll head there.
Him whose birth the angels sing, come adore on bended knee. Christ the Lord, the newborn King.
Alright, the last stop is TJ Maxx because I just always love to check it out. But there are so many people here. This is a Saturday. I made the mistake of coming on a Saturday, but that's just how my schedule worked out when I had some free time, when I wasn't filming other content. And I get anxious around so many people. It's not so much like I'm afraid of anything happening. There's too much activity, overstimulated, I guess, and I just want to get out. I don't really care to shop that much
for the most part. Every once in a while I get in the mood, but with all these people around, it definitely makes it a little less pleasant for me. Is anyone else that way like me, where you just don't care to shop for one thing? I know that's kind of rare for a girl, but I know there's some out there. Let me know if you're a kindred spirit. But let's get into TJ Maxx because it's one of my favorite places. Alright, I just came back from TJ Maxx and it was definitely overwhelmingly crowded in there. And I realize now, it's not like when I said I was anxious before around crowds of people, I tend to get mad and frustrated. That's my biggest thing, I think, that makes shopping unpleasant for me when I go into like really crowded places, is I just get frustrated with one, like I said, crowds of people, or two, when I can't find what I'm looking for. But all that to say, I did get a couple purchases today. Nothing at TJ Maxx. Oh my goodness, you guys, they had the cutest dog clothing. I am a sucker for dog clothing. And there was a couple sweaters that I almost wanted to get, but I didn't. I said, no, Elmo has plenty. He has enough. And then also there were a couple coats. And if I could have found a coat in his size, I would definitely gotten it. There was two that I was really looking for in his size. Could not find it. But that's that. Let me show you though the purchases I did make at a couple other stores. You're not going to be able to see the full thing, but I did get a pair of sweatpants for my husband. He likes pants with these side pockets, and he likes thick sweatpants, not just like the thinner material. So got those. Nothing exciting. It's for part of his Christmas present. Don't tell him though. He doesn't really watch my videos though, so we should be fine. And then I also went into Home Goods, which I think I've only been there one other time. It's a really neat store, but I once again feel overwhelmed with like all the options that are there. And once again, it was also very crowded. But I did get like a quart saucepan, which, oops, the tag just came off, which I've been needing because ours is just, it's old. It's the Tefal type or the Teflon type, and I'm trying to get rid of those. So I got a stainless steel one, and hopefully that's an upgrade. I debated about ceramic too for a while, but you just have to be so careful with what you are allowed to put in there so you don't damage it. This one I feel like will be more durable. Alright, so it's been a few more days since the last clip I showed you of me mailing those letters out. But when I say this is going to be a few days in my life, I really mean it. It's stretched out quite a bit. But I've just been doing a lot of editing today. But tonight we are going to be going to see some lights in a park. And I'm pretty excited about that because it's been a while since I've gone to see these lights. But it's a pretty big setup from what I remember. And usually there's quite a bit of a lineup. So we're going to try to get there pretty early. So we'll be leaving in a couple hours. It's not dark yet, but it will be dark before long. So I'm excited about how these are going to look. Like I said, it's been a long time. I hope it still is as extravagant as I remember it being.
See him in a manger laid, Jesus, Lord of heaven and earth. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid. Sing with us our Savior's birth.
It's time to wrap Christmas gifts. This isn't everything, but there's a decent chunk here. Some of it I do, like for my parents, I think I'm going to be doing, I got them a few things that they can unwrap, but I think I'm also going to be donating to an organization in their honor, because that's kind of what they like. They don't need a ton of stuff. They don't really need much of anything. So a lot of years, that's what we do, plus some gift cards. But first and easiest gift to do is for Elmo. Got him this cute little stuffed teddy bear, and of course it has a squeaker. I'm gonna cut the tags off of this thing and just put it in his stocking. That's why I said it's so easy. A little teddy bear hanging out of his stocking. Isn't that adorable? I'll probably put it all the way down in there, but I don't know. It's kind of cute just hanging out like that. And I'll probably get him some treats as well. So I haven't purchased those yet, but for now he's done.
Led by the light, our fates serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by His cradle we stand. O'er the world, a star is sweetly gleaming. Now come the wise men from out of the Orient land. The King of the Kings laid us lowly manger in all our trials, born to be our friends. He knows our needs.
You guys, this is embarrassing. My husband does the absolute best job at wrapping gifts. So straight and crisp edges and seams and everything like that. Can you see that? It's like the worst pucker job ever for his gift. Well, I love him, but I don't care that much about how the gift is wrapped. It's wrapped. It's good enough.
Behold, your King.
All right, so I have a pretty nice, neat pile. I know it doesn't look like a ton for probably if you knew the size of my family. My family's just not like huge on gift giving. It's more on just spending quality time with each other. But like I said, there are a few more things that I need to get. So this is a good start though. All right, I guess I am here to kind of wrap up this video. It's not quite how I was planning on ending things. I thought I was going to go caroling, kind of take you along a little bit with that to some shut-ins in a nursing home or several nursing homes. But I'm not kidding you. We had 2 inches of snow and a lot of things shut down in our area. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but anyways, I guess that's a whole nother tangent. So unfortunately we did not get to do the caroling. Maybe they'll schedule out for another day, but I don't think I'm going to get to fit it into this video in particular. But I hope you enjoyed this video regardless. I hope it just kind of helped brighten your mood, put you more in the mood for the season. And until I see you again in the next video, have a wonderful day. Bye. By the way, Elmo says goodbye as well, right? Tell him goodbye.